is the Vintage RPG Podcast, your source for the best in classic and contemporary RPGs. With your hosts, Hambone and Stu.
Welcome to Vintage RPG Podcast, coming at you again from the clubhouse, hidden somewhere in the swamps of New Jersey. I'm John Hambone McGuire, and with me, as always, is the founder and publisher of Unwinnable, the only seaside towns he would stay in on vacation, didn't have any murders that he knew of, Stu Horvath.
Actually.
Oh, no, really?
I don't remember exactly what it was. One time when we were up in Gloucester, we were there during a really strange time, and there was some sort of drug bust with like the import of narcotics through boats and divers, and somebody might have died when they got arrested. This is like literally 25 years ago. If I'm remembering correctly, it was like we used to stay at this hotel that overlooked the ocean and the rocky coast, and very dramatic. And but it was like literally like, I don't know, 5 degrees to the left. You could see the kerfuffle like maybe half a mile out. It was just, I think it was the second night we were there. It was just, what's going on? Why are there all those boats? Is that gunfire?
Yeah, here you are thinking you're in an episode of Murder, She Wrote, but really you're in Miami Vice, North.
Right. But,
North Miami.
But yeah, so somebody might have died.
Yeah, possible.
I can't guarantee it either way, but I'm sure we could dive into some microfiche. It was probably in the newspapers.
Isn't microfiche so cool? I just love the idea of it. Like, it's just like such a fun, like, all right, this is pretty cool. Like, it's microfiche.
Actually, if I'm recalling correctly, one of my longtime followers on the Instagram, who I've not talked to in a long time, but she lived in, if not Gloucester itself, or Rockport, like one of those towns. And it was like really funny when I found out that, I used to vacation up there. So maybe she would know. She could, if you're listening right now, I don't remember your name because it was really just a screen name. And, like I would recognize your avatar, I guess. At this point, I don't remember your name, and I'm sorry, that's really rude. But if you remember a drug raid that happened off the coast of Bass Rocks, and 30 years ago, you drop me a line. Let me know. we'll talk. Maybe we'll have you on the show. We can talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Anyway, I have a pen within reach, so I'm doing like the David Letterman thing where I'm fiddling with the pen. If I had some cards, I'd be like throwing them around. We're going to talk about Murder, She Wrote, the board game. So, this is one of my favorite things that I've ever bought at Geek Flea. I think it was the 3rd or 4th Geek Flea, and I was sitting at my table in the gym at the First Presbyterian Church of Arlington, which you can see too if you watch Happy Gilmore 2. They filmed a lot of scenes in there. All the Alcoholics Anonymous scenes were filmed in the gym of the church that I hold Geek Flea in.
Which is wild to me. Sidebar, they're filming so much more stuff in New Jersey now. It's unreal. All those shitty gambling ads, they are filming like shitty gambling ads in New Jersey. Like I just saw one with John Hamm that they filmed at Rutt's Hut.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Hey, I guess you gotta pay the bills, right?
Guess you gotta pay the bills somehow, yeah.
But yeah. So Geek Flea, 20 years ago. 20 years ago? Is that right? No, that can't be. 12 years ago? 12 years ago, yeah.
No. 12 years ago.
Sitting in the gym, and across the way, all the way across the room, somebody had it propped up on a shelf real high, and I walked over. They wanted $5 for it. And I was just like, yes, I will pay $5 for this novelty board game. How has it stayed there the 15 minutes since we've been open? I can't imagine that nobody snapped that up immediately. It's delightful. It's a big classic 1985 board game format, the long box with a board that folds twice.
Oh, perfect in every way.
The black fake leather paper on the back. Yeah, real class from Warren Games. And 1985 Murder, She Wrote board game.
Wait, Warren Games?
I think it's Warren, yeah.
Not even Parker Brothers or Milton Bradley.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's like a small game manufacturer got the license and made this game. And I don't think I have any idea what another Warren game is off the top of my head.
Yeah, nor do I.
I have Worthington.
I've heard Warrington. I've heard Worthington, sure.
but Warren doesn't. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, so it's a game in which you solve. It's a deduction game, of course. It reminds me a lot of Clue in some ways, but also a Sid Sackson game called Sleuth, in which like you collect clues for a diamond heist or a jewel heist, and you figure out. Basically, everybody has like a hand of cards, and there's questions asked, and the answers to the questions slowly will allow you to piece together what jewel and what configuration was stolen. And that's a cool game because like it's all card based, and it's sort of like deduction, but there's a sneaky thing, and you have to take. There's nothing in Sleuth like the in Clue where you have like the notepad where you can sort of check things off, and it's doing a little bit of the work for you. Sleuth is like completely open-ended. It's just like, here's a pen, here's a piece of paper, figure it out, bro.
You know, I will say this, and I believe it firmly to be true. That notepad and Clue does a lot more lifting for you than you think.
It absolutely does. It provides framework, and it makes it family friendly.
Well, it provides framework. It does make it family friendly, but it also gives you the ability to like bluff and feint.
Yes.
You know, because you know, even though you're going in a very specific direction with the questions, it's kind of like you could tell a lot. Like it's social engineering. You know what I mean? Like you could tell a lot by the way people are doing things with that book. So yeah, I mean, that Clue book is an essential part of making the game playable for the whole family.
Yeah. Sleuth being open-ended, I feel that it so much energy is devoted to the note-taking system, and everybody has a different system and is trying different ways to kind of crunch the data. And it's a much larger pool of data. I think there's 3 types of jewels and 4 configurations, and it's just like, it's a lot. So there isn't a lot of bluffing and stuff. There's room for it, but like every time we've played it, it's just like, oh man, I don't know. Like I gotta work on. If everybody had a spreadsheet, like that would make the game a lot more manageable. But kind of holding that in your head and playing detective is sort of fun.
Really is.
In a way it's different from Clue, but and you'll see how that both of these things kind of combine in Murder, She Wrote. So of course you're trying to find a murder, not a jewel thief in Murder, She Wrote, and you have the board is an island upon which are a number of establishments, each with a proprietor, and there's a little circle next to the proprietor where the alive and dead token goes. It's dice-based movement with a whole bunch of paths. And in that, it's very much like Clue. So you're moving around to different establishments to check in on who's there and their status. The status is kept secret. The first thing everybody does, so it's a deduction game, plus it's a hidden traitor game, sort of, because one of you is the murderer.
Oh.
So at the beginning of the game, all of the characters on the board have a tile face down that says alive. And one by one, everybody leaves the room, and one by one, each player goes in for 1 minute and communes with the board. If you are the murderer, you switch one tile to dead. And if you're not the murderer, you just stand there and twiddle your thumbs for a couple minutes.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
So yeah, and then the game begins, and you kind of go from place to place checking in on people, trying to find the person who's presumably dead. Every time you enter one of the establishments, there's 2 types of space in the movement. There's square spaces, which are just sidewalk, basically. And then there's circular spaces, which are inside the building. Once you hit one of those, you take these little ring markers and you put it on a tracker that it has 6 spaces, and it's last one in. And then as other people enter, your tracker gets moved down and they become the last one in. So you get to it keeps a running tally of who has been in the building and in what order. But using those rings, you could sleuth-like sort of try and determine who was there before and after the and narrow it down to figure out who flipped it, who switched the token out to make the live person dead. So every time you go into the house, you put this thing and say, I was the last person here. You take their status token, you look at it. If you're a detective, you just note it and put it in the box, swish it around, and then get another one that says the same thing, and you replace it. If you're the murderer, you have the option of when you have the option to make them dead if they are alive. And it's all like this blind thing, and you kind of have to move around the board and deduce who the killer is. The killer has to kill 5 people and then escape the island to win. The not killers have to deduce who it is and get to a space that allows them to accuse. If they make the wrong accusation, they are out of the game. So for the time, for 1985, it's pretty good. I would say that it's a little toothier than Clue. I like the fact that like you're playing against somebody in the group who's actively kind of like messing with the game. I hate the dice-based movement. If we played it again, I would have to like figure out a couple house rules just to make it like the dice-based movement really artificially extends play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you don't want people to be able to jump all over the place. So like you got to figure something out that's different. But here's the twist. Here's the thing that I think that really makes it hilarious to me as an experience. Everybody, it's just they didn't bother to like really like come up with a bunch of different detectives on the island. Like what they should have done was not licensed Murder, She Wrote. They should have licensed Murder by Death. And you have a whole bunch of
well played, yeah.
You have a whole bunch of detectives come to the island. One of them's the killer, and do it that way. Instead, they licensed Murder, She Wrote, but they couldn't figure out how to have, and everybody wants to play Jessica Fletcher, right?
Of course.
So they couldn't figure out a way to like get around that. So they just made it so that everybody's playing Jessica Fletcher. And one of them is the hidden traitor who's killing people. So the only way I personally can reconcile that, it's stated in the rules that everyone is playing Jessica Fletcher, and not another mention is like, there's no explanation. There's no like, it's just like everybody's Jessie. So obviously you're all clones of Jessica Fletcher. One of them has gone bad and you have to catch the killer clone. And it plays into the longtime fan theory that Jessica is a serial killer who is killing all these people. I don't know what the first instance of it is, but the first time I saw it, it was in a Hellblazer comic where John Constantine is like, hey, she's a serial killer. So all of that just makes the game like if that's the meta for the game, I think that it becomes like it really heightens it to an all-time classic for me.
It's so funny. We talk about Murder, She Wrote a lot on the show. Like,
no,
I'm like so invested in it that my illustrious wife actually bought me the Jessica Fletcher NECA figure. Like I have in my possession the Jessica Fletcher NECA figure, like, which looks great, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where you're like, in life you wonder, like, do I need this? And in fact, I did. And I'm glad to have it. It's gorgeous. It comes with a little typewriter. It comes with her blue sweater or her like out and about coat. And also one with a shocked look on her face, like when she finds the body.
Yeah.
But like, mystery games are so genuinely hard to pull off. And I think that like, what year did this come out again?
85.
Yeah. So back then, the hobby was still kind of young. I mean, even though they've been making board games since Christ left Pittsburgh, like, when it comes to conceptually a licensed property in a board game, they weren't, they weren't thinking too far. Like most of those old board games are kind of unplayable.
Mass market, family oriented board games, but before 1999 are mostly not good.
Mostly not good. So like, yeah, it makes sense to me that like, well, so you don't have to have that argument, and like in some boardroom somewhere they're putting it together like, well, then who gets to be Jessica Fletcher? Screw it. Everyone gets to be Jessica Fletcher because, you're going to spend more time. Because
they didn't expect people to play it.
Yeah.
They expected people to buy it and then it would sit on the shelf and then that'd be it.
Yeah, like this is one of those, on the off chance that someone actually opens this box and tries to have a game night, well, there's got to be some kind of rules. However, like I think maybe it'd be more fun if like only one person could be Jessica Fletcher, because someone would get like real butthurt about it, and then like that would give them more like of an enticing reason to kill. Jealousy, because that's a clear motive in many murders, in many fine murders. Go to therapy. Don't ever get that jealous, folks. Dear listener, just talk about it. Don't kill anybody. But like, Yeah, I love that it exists, and I love everything that you described. And in my head, I'm already swishing around like how you could get around like the movement thing to make it more fun.
Yeah. It doesn't make it unfun. It just makes it long.
Yeah.
And I kept rolling shitty. So I kept rolling twos. So it took me forever to really get into the game, whereas everybody else was kind of like bopping into buildings in and out. And like, so, I mean, I guess the leveler is that at that point, people had been to enough buildings that I just had to kind of go in and try and figure out who was where. And I did figure out who the killer was relatively fast, but I was also, I couldn't get to the Jacques space in time to win, and nobody could, and the killer escaped, which is ridiculous. It should be harder for the killer to escape. You can tell that we played it badly. I think that it's just in terms of the game design, I think that it is harder when you're playing it right to be a successful killer.
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I would think that because I'm trying to find the board on the internet. You know, maybe it's like instead of rolling 2 turns, it takes you 2 turns to get to a different house. Where like, you know, 1 turn to get there, the next turn you enter. You know, so it breaks it up a little bit because dude, dice rolling is as much as you know. This show about tabletop RPGs where the bread and butter of every tabletop RPG within reason is dice rolling. Nothing slows a game down more than rolling dice.
Yeah, no, dice-based movement is a plague upon board games. That's one of the reasons why everything before, you know, a certain point in terms of like I said, there's always been like non-dice-based movement games that are interesting, but like the Monopoly, you know, core family board game experience for 40, 50 years was dice-based movement. And that's why everybody hated board games.
Seriously.
Because like you're just rolling to get what you need and you never get it.
The game board looks fantastic though.
Oh, it's great. It's amazing. The portrait of Jessica Fletcher on the cover with the haunted house in the background. As an object, there's I have no complaints.
You roll 1 dice?
Yes. No, I think there's 2.
Yeah, I would definitely roll 2d6 to move. Oh, this looks fantastic. I love it. Oh, I love it so much.
As an experience, it's pretty good. I mean, like I have the $6 Million Man board game, and that's not a fun board game. No. So many of them aren't. I'm such a sucker for them because the licenses were like flying pretty free in the 80s. Like there's a Zaxxon board game that's based on an old Coleco arcade game, and I experienced it on ColecoVision, where you're flying a spaceship into a space fortress and shooting stuff. And Wizard Van Wayne played it recently. He's like, check this out. I was like, holy crap, a Zaxxon board game? And I kind of want that. There's also this Bermuda Triangle game where like there's a storm thing that sucks up counters, and like there's so many cool ones, but they all look dumb too.
Yeah.
Like they always, you know, that at the end of the day, like Mystery Mansion, I loved Mystery Mansion as a kid. The game is terrible, but I love the bits, the house, the room bits. But the game itself is no good. It's just, and you could use that game to make a good game, maybe, probably. But like so many games, even if they look cool and have like a cool thing to them, like they're not good in terms of the way board games of the 21st century that I've played are good. Nothing I played as a kid is as satisfying as like Power Grid or Scythe or any of these more thoughtfully designed games that are like my bread and butter when we get a board out. But
that's it.
But Murder, She Wrote actually holds its own pretty good, all things considered.
Well, very cool. I mean, that feels like a good final thought to me. Do you have anything else you want to toss on the fire? Any more logs?
I feel like I see it going for about between $15 and $35 on eBay, and I think that is a perfectly respectable kind of price to pay. If you see it in a thrift store or a secondhand shop for like less, definitely pick it up. You'll be surprised at how good it is. Yeah,
you know, I'm looking at the same things on eBay. I would like $15 pay to see it.
Yeah.
You know? Even just as like to have a piece of art in my house, like I think that's $15 feels like the nice price.
I just got another deduction game called Manhunt from I think 72 or 74, and it's electronic. It's got like a little computer thing with punch cards, which is ridiculous.
Oh wow.
And it's all complete. It was $10. Everything works. So like I feel like these older board games, like if you're gonna start collecting something, old weird board games like that is a pretty. I think Zaxxon goes for like between 15 and 25, something like that.
Man, that's awesome. Did you hear also that they're doing a Murder, She Wrote movie?
No.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you. Normally, I hear that they're going to make a movie out of a beloved TV property. I'm like, oh, fuck off, man. It's never good. It is absolutely terrible. Like, it's just always like, you know, at every turn, they're like, oh, we have to wink and nod to the members of the audience that are still alive and remember it. But, like, it just never really, like, fully lands.
Yeah.
This one I actually have hope in because the woman who is playing Jessica Fletcher is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, that's interesting.
But like Jamie Lee Curtis now. It's not like, oh, like Jamie Lee Curtis did it like 20 something years ago and like now she's like age appropriate for Jessica Fletcher. Maybe she's actually even a little older than Jessica Fletcher was in the series.
Maybe.
And I love it. So I'm actually... This one I'm going to be like, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see who's directing. Let's see who the trailer is. Let's see what shakes out with it. But yeah, by and large, remakes blow.
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole thing with like Queen Latifah, right, and a revival of the TV show while Angela Lansbury was still alive.
You know, I never heard that. The one thing that Queen Latifah did bring back was The Equalizer.
Yeah, I think that originally they were trying to do Murder, She Wrote with her, and then Angela Lansbury was like, don't do that. She's my character. After I'm dead, you could do something, but like, don't do that. And then they were just like, you know what? You're right.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate that because like, if you look at here we go, we're diving back in, folks. If you look, and this is very kind of topical to me in a way because my wife and I have been watching Poirot every night at dinner. Mm-hmm. We have Acorn, and they have every season of Poirot. So we just finished season 1. And when you look at Poirot, you actually see they've just played the character until the very end of his life. Like, because that is the kind of character that, like, if Angela Lansbury, when she was alive, wanted to get off the bench and do one more, she absolutely could. It could still be Jessica Fletcher, you know?
Yeah. Okay, to clarify, I popped on the Wikipedia just to get the facts straight. I am confusing The Equalizer, Queen Latifah. It was Octavia Spencer was supposed to reboot the show in 2013. Not as Jessica Fletcher. She was a hospital administrator and an amateur sleuth who self-publishes a mystery novel. They were going to call the show Murder, She Wrote, and Lansbury was just like, don't call it Murder, She Wrote, because like Murder, She Wrote is its own thing. Like,
yeah.
And then they decided, you know what? That would be right and the producers were just like, the character's not going to be Jessica Fletcher because only Angela Lansbury could be Jessica Fletcher.
Right. Which at this point with Angela Lansbury long gone, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, all bets are off.
Jamie Lee Curtis is fine. All bets are
off. Yeah. I'll take Jamie Lee Curtis instead of necromantically digital AI Jessica Fletcher, which is like the nightmare scenario right now. Like, it's just like,
dude, like let's just call it what it is. Fuck AI. Like, you know, AI is the worst. Like, I saw a video the other day and I was just like scrolling through and it was a video of like the Macho Man. And I was like, ooh, I see the Macho Man. I'm obviously like turning around and looking. And then I'm like, wait, that house looks familiar that he's in. It was Mr. Rogers' house. Mr. Rogers busts through the door and unleashes a profanity-laced tirade against the Macho Man for being the Macho Man. Yeah. And I'm like, it was fully AI. And I was like, I never needed to see this. Like, yeah. Like you could just let things be. You can let people die. Like, you don't need to digitally put them back somewhere where they don't need to be, you know? Like, it's just pollution. Oh, it's gross. I will say this though. Had there been some kind of mystery show with Octavia Spencer and or Queen Latifah, I would watch the shit out of it.
Yeah, I mean, the Queen Latifah Equalizer ain't bad.
Oh, it's fantastic. I've seen every episode. Yeah. Listen, but like, I'll put it this way. I've seen every episode, but then I canceled Paramount Plus because they pulled their shenanigans. Like the minute they put Hard Times on Stephen Colbert, I was like, and I'm out.
It's funny. HBO sent me an email saying that like they were raising the price $2, and I immediately canceled. Yeah. I was just like, "Yep, goodbye,
goodbye." Nope. Not enough to keep me at the dance, folks.
There are books that I need to read.
Yeah, God,
so many books.
That beautiful, good smelling paper. But yeah, it's getting like kind of real grody out there where like we're gonna go home, guys. We could rant all day about the stupidity.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Anyway, this is before I actually go home, because we talked about it last week, and I'm going to continue to do it because we are moving more towards talking about stuff like this versus kind of constantly interviewing people about their projects. We're still going to do it, but we're kind of moving away from it back to kind of a steady conversation of just us talking about cool things. And if we bring creators on, we're going to be talking about actual creation, not trying to help them sell you something. But at the end of every episode, I want to start telling you about some cool crowdfunding projects because there are still a lot of cool things out there that really do deserve to be checked out. So first and foremost, if you are familiar with Polyhedra Games, they've got Death City over on Kickstarter. It's rocking for another rock until November 20th. It is a chaotic and action-packed dark occult goth punk urban fantasy tabletop RPG. The folks over Polyhedra are real sweet dudes and folks, and they have a game where the earth split open and the inferno leapt forward. The wound was wrapped, but the scar persists. The devils walk among us on the streets and in the rain. A million rebels against creation. So I'm looking at it right now. It's got some real cool looking art, a real cool vibe to it. Definitely check that out. Bug Busters TTRPG by Daiku Games. Gary is a absolute wonderful creator. If you remember Funkshala, I think I'm pronouncing that right. This is the next one up. You get to play as scrappy working class exterminators protecting the planet from a secret alien invasion. So it's kind of like a Men in Black meet Ghostbusters, but it's all about busting bugs in the 90s. Very inspired by the things that we love and talk about a lot on this show, including Repo Man of all things. So definitely check that out. You have the Sickest Witch. Now, yes, I have my own Sickest Witch, which you should definitely back. Sickest Witch, Under the Shadow of the Noonday Witch. But if you're looking for a sweet companion for that, Sickest Witch Covenant Box and Hayride Adventure Module. It's a player aid kit with spells, rune cards, dice bags, and more. Justin Soroyce obviously makes fantastic stuff. We love Justin, and Justin's biz is good. And finally, if you like WHPA Fairhaven, Roxy Rollers, a third-party zine for WHPA 13. It's a 32-page zine for Weird Heroes of Public Access, a tribute to late 70s and early 80s roller derby and beyond. And that was my crowdfunding corner. So if you like, I don't know, still workshop at the name. So if you like the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Your reviews really do help other listeners find us. And if you really like the show, why not become a patron? Patreon.com/vintagerpg. We got behind the scenes look at the stuff Stu's working on. We got a behind the scenes look at the stuff that I kind of keep rocking with. For as little as $1 a month, you get the episodes early, sometime between Friday and Sunday, depending on when we edit them. At the $5 tier, you can game with me. I usually been running a game a month of different things. Sometimes I run the things we talk about. I've been trying to run some other fun stuff as well. But you could also get in on my ongoing play by email campaign for 1-900 Fantasy, which is pretty good. We're going into like our 5th or 6th week. It gets a little stretched out in between posts because I want everyone to have the opportunity to kind of get in on it, and it's super fun. At the $10 tier, you can get in on my games and also Stu's legendary, very deadly West Marches campaign. It's been going on about 3 years. Stu's also been doing a watch-along of the TV show Millennium every Monday night. And we've got a killer Discord community we'd love for you to be a part of. Patreon.com/vintagerpg. So for Stu Horvath, I'm John Hambone McGuire. May the dice always roll in your favor. Thanks for listening. The Vintage RPG Podcast is a ham-fisted production. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Schaefer Brown. Edited by R. Alex Murray. Check us out at vintagerpg.com.